Change it.
Episode 171, weighing in with Travis Hartman. I am B Money, the producer. That over there is the talent weekend Trav, aka Travis Hartman. Prediction time: Alexander Usyk taking on Tyson Fury for the second time from Riyadh, out there in Saudi Arabia. I want to throw it to you, weekend Trav, for your full-on prediction of this fight, as it's coming literally in a day. Okay, we're recording this on Thursday. It'll drop Friday. The fights are Saturday, December 21st. Uh, Prediction, weekend Trav. What do you got for us here?
Why,
Usyk,
why are you
Fury 2.
why are you throwing this right at me, dude? I've fumbled the last three Usyk predictions, so I don't even know
I'm
why I'm going first
I'm
here.
like on a
I
coach
don't
on
even
the
know why I'm doing
sideline.
it.
I'm a coach on the sideline that has confidence in his player. I'm giving you the ball again. Prediction.
Put me
Usyk
in, coach.
Usyk taking on Fury for the second time. Who you got?
I'm gonna get this prediction right. Okay, I'm gonna get it right. I've been studying it. I've watched the old fight. I watched Tyson Fury Usyk one. I've watched some old Usyk fights. Tyson Fury's winning this fight. I got Tyson Fury by decision again, but I want to put it out there to everybody out there because I have to be honest. I also predicted Anthony Joshua would beat Usyk one. I also predicted Anthony Joshua would beat Usyk two. I also predicted Tyson Fury would beat Usyk one. I'm 0-3 when it comes to Usyk. I am desperately needing a win on this one, pay money. I've also put my own money down for once too on the Hard Rock app in favor of Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury looks locked in for this one. I don't think that Usyk won the last fight because Tyson Fury wasn't prepared or something. Because I think Usyk is great. I think he's proved that, right? I think Usyk is definitely up there in the pound for pound list, and he should be because he's a small guy beating big guys. And normally they say a great small man will lose to a good big man. Well, I think Usyk has totally rewrote that whole myth because he's a great small man and he's beating great big men. And I put
Yeah,
Anthony Joshua in there. I put Tyson Fury in there. They're great heavyweights, to be fair. They are. They're probably the two best heavyweights out there other than Usyk. You got to give Joshua some credit. He's up there. He pisses me off because he underperforms a lot, but you got to put him up there. I mean, I don't see very many other people beating Anthony Joshua. And I don't see very many other people beating Tyson Fury. And Usyk has knocked them both off in the last 2 years.
that's quite a bit of a resume there. So you have Tyson Fury taking the decision over Alexander Usyk. Before I go into mine, and then before we go into more rationale, let me go through the said Hard Rock Bets app because it's pretty interesting on the winning methods right now. This is as of Thursday night, and this might be different depending on where you're at. Welcome to the West Coast weekend, Trav. So we got the winning methods, and here's the thing: none of the winning methods are favored. Usyk by decision plus 180. Usyk by knockout, TKO or DQ plus 260. Tyson Fury by decision plus 275. Tyson Fury by knockout, TKO or DQ plus 350. A tie, which probably won't happen, and this is why it's plus 1500. There's no minuses there, folks. There's no favored winning method so far on that fight. However, there are rounds. It's leaning more towards the over 10 and a half, it looks like. And then fight going the distance looks like a big whopping yes at minus 155. So I think people in general are thinking decision, but undecided as to who gets that decision according to some of these betting stats I just read off to you with the winning method. And that's kind of where I find myself. I'm on the fence of I think it's going to go the distance. And I think that's probably the only way at this stage in the game that Alexander Usyk beats Fury again is to go the distance. And I know what people are going to say. He had him. He had him on the ropes. The ref saved Fury, and it would have been that way if the ref. I don't know. I think
No.
Tyson Fury seems pretty locked and dialed in this one. So I
Mhm.
think I think it's going to go a decision one way or another. So now we come to the discussion
Who are you going with though?
of brain, yeah, brain or heart. Okay. My brain says this, my heart says this. Okay.
Okay.
My brain tells me Alexander Usyk wins by
You
decision.
got to go with that. You have to
I'm
go with
gonna
that.
go with that, so
Okay.
that way we're on two different sides.
Okay.
And then, but my heart's telling me Tyson Fury. We'll go into my reasons why first, and then I'm gonna throw it to you
Uh-huh.
next as to why you think Tyson Fury wins by decision. And really, the main factor I have to say is this. It just came out, it was released today, saying that Tyson Fury's father will not be in the corner, basically not being what I think is a distraction for him
Mhm.
during this fight. So my heart says, ooh, I think that gives him a pretty good advantage. But
Yeah.
me up here says, mm-mm, mm-mm, stick to your guns, put your money where your mouth is, which I will, and I'm going to take Alexander Usyk by decision, and you have Tyson Fury by decision. Tell me your rationale why.
I'm going to play devil's advocate though and tell you that I think John Fury not being in the corner could be more distraction as well, because that's all people are going to be talking about now. I think that that's going to be in the locker room because John Fury is going to be in the locker room. So I think that might be a distraction actually. I think that they could have just been like, you know what, John, come in the corner, listen to Tyson. Tyson's going to tell you to shut the freaking heck up and listen to Sugar Hill, his trainer. So I think it could be a distraction not being in there as well. So I don't know if that plays in his favor or not. But what I like this Tyson Fury in the first fight, I thought that Usyk was going to win the early rounds and then Fury was going to pull away in the middle rounds to the end. And actually, it was like the opposite, which was insane. I never thought that. And the only reason it changed was because Tyson Fury started clowning around and Usyk caught him with the left hand and staggered him. And to be honest, that's the most hurt I've ever seen Tyson Fury. He's been down by Deontay Wilder, who hits like a truck, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
he was hurt for a good amount of
You
time
look
and literally
cross-eyed on one of those, yeah.
staggered across the ring. I know that when he went down against Deontay Wilder, he looked like he was dead, and then he rose from the dead in like 4 seconds. Well, this one, Tyson Fury looked like he was on Queer Street for like 15 seconds. He was backing around the ring.
He was bouncing from rope to rope. It
He
was like pro
was.
wrestling watching this.
Yeah, and like he was staggering and he was legit hurt and he was tired and hurt and it was later rounds, I think like 9 maybe. So I think this time around though, if Usyk doesn't hurt Fury, Fury wins the fight. Okay. That's my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that Fury now respects. Here's the deal Fury didn't respect Usyk's punching power. And most people didn't. He's coming up from cruiserweight, right? And most people did not. Most
Having to
people was
punch
like,
up.
yeah, most people was like, you know what? Usyk is a very good fighter. He fights from different angles. He throws a lot of punches. He's a smaller guy, so he's faster. And that's why he gets by in the heavyweight division. And he's just super tough, obviously. But I think that Fury felt his power. I was like, oh my gosh, the little middleweight, what he used to call him, the middleweight can actually punch. So this time around, I see Fury still clowning because it's in his nature, but I don't see him clowning and actually clowning, if that makes sense. I see him
Oh yeah,
pretending
there's
to
been a
clown.
difference. There's been a
Yeah.
difference in the promo stuff and the interviews and things like that.
You
He
mean you
he
look at him, he looks different.
he seems dialed in a bit more, and I, even like on the airplane approach, I know it was meant to take seriously, but he did the fake stumble, and then out comes Usyk, pop out, looking through the pilot window. I mean, so that was kind of like funny, but
The
overall,
trailer's good.
yeah, the trailer was pretty good. You know, it's interesting. I mean, Usyk is the Hard Rock favorite on just taking the winner, just a straight winner. Usyk
Yeah.
is the favorite there,
It's
but
smaller, right? It's like minus like 130 or something, isn't it? Or 140.
minus 140, so
Yeah.
it's yeah, okay. And Tyson Fury a plus 120 underdog. But I like going by the methods. That's what we were
It was
talking about a few
plus
minutes ago.
130. It was plus 130 at one time. It got to 125. I locked in a bet at 125. Now it's 120.
Yeah, it'll
You're
tighten
gonna
up.
see it closer. Yep.
Yeah, it'll tighten up by Saturday for sure. And which, by the way, folks, that's if you're stateside, if you're on the East Coast, their walk time for the main event's probably going to be about 5:30, call it 6 o'clock. Just kind of pay attention to the other fights, before that. Even though I don't know anybody fighting, but so like 5:25 ring walk is what ESPN right now is stating. You can catch us on the Zone for $40 stateside. If
It's
you're in
not
the
bad.
UK, you got Sky Sports, you got DAZN, and you got something else. I didn't see what that, like Turner or something, I think. Um, so it's cheap, relatively speaking. It's cheap.
Yeah, no, it is. That's a $90 fight for sure on regular pay-per-view that we're used to. This
But
is
here's the
this is how
surprising
big it
part
is.
then. So Weekend Trav, tell the folks listening at home and watching at home the rumored purse for both these guys, given the fact that it's $40.
Yeah.
Talk about the rumored purse for both.
Alexander Usyk is rumored to make $110 million. Tyson Fury 78 million. And this is rumored. Okay. I haven't seen any official documents for this, but it's been reported. So I'm going to go with that. And I know that this is for the lineal heavyweight championship of the world. I know the IBF, he gave that up and DeBow fought for that and beat Joshua, but we all know that all of the titles really should be on the line right now. Only 3 of them are, but they all should be. This fight is for the best and the baddest man in the world, essentially. He's the heavyweight champion of the world in boxing. So they usually consider that one of the baddest men in the world.
It'll be the
You know,
baddest man on the planet for sure. The winner of this
usually
thing.
UFC would contend with that, but I think right now it doesn't matter. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk for the heavyweight championship of the world rematch, and dude, $110 million, B
I
money.
mean,
That's just for one fight.
I would have thought, given the price of it, 110 split between the two of them would have been a lot. But that,
And for those asking, because B Money talked about it too, everybody does know that even though Tyson Fury is the B side technically now because he lost, part of the split when you fight for a world title is a 60-40 split. The champion gets the 60% of the purse. The challenger gets the 40% of the purse. So that's why Usyk is making more than Fury in this one. And I believe that they're still going to get a portion of the pay-per-view, according to everything, but I don't know if the pay-per-view is going to be that big. I think that their purses is going to be probably what it is.
so we can Trav, given your call on the decision for Fury, what does Fury have to do differently this time for his hand to be raised at the end of this fight?
He's got to lock in. He's got to jab more. He's got to move more. He can't set on the ropes. When he clowned around on the ropes, and then he got off the ropes and got caught in the middle of the ring, actually. But when he's clowning around is when he got caught. So my thing is he's got to stay locked in and stay focused for 12 rounds. He's got to, so he's taller. He's got a longer reach. He's got all of the advantages in his favor. He's the heavier guy. He's the taller guy. He does punch very hard because he's very big. He was 276 last time. Oh, I want to put this out there too. He claimed that for this fight, he changed everything and he's coming in heavier, right? He claimed that, right? That he's going to come in heavier. I think he's playing mind games with Usyk because I saw him at the pre-fight or the workouts, the media workouts. Fury looks lighter. He doesn't look as big as he used to look. So I think he's trying to play mind games with Usyk and claiming that he's coming in heavier. I don't think he comes in heavier. My prediction is Tyson Fury comes in less than 276. And he needs to because he needs to be lighter on his feet. He needs to box, stop messing around. Alexander Usyk is not a middleweight. Alexander Usyk is a full-fledged heavyweight. He can punch, he can box, and I think now Tyson Fury realizes that. Okay, he's got every advantage. He's got at least 50 pounds plus over Alexander Usyk. He's got like 4 or 5 inches. Listen, I got to address this too. They say that Tyson Fury's 6'9" and Usyk is 6'3". But have you seen the face off?
It's way
I think
different.
I think that Tyson Fury is every bit of 6'7", 6'6", which is really tall still.
Yeah.
I don't know why they say he's 6'9". I'm coming around to this. A couple of my English friends kept telling me that Travis, I don't think he's that tall. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think he is either because Usyk is
Stand
6'3".
straight up.
And they both were standing straight up next to each other. Fury wasn't crouched over. They were standing straight up and staring at each
Yeah.
other down. And they only looked about 3 or 4 inches apart, dude. So
Yeah, it's going to be
unless
the
Usyk,
reach.
unless Usyk lies on his and he's actually taller than he says he is, then it's off. But Tyson Fury compared. Tyson Fury or Usyk says he's 6'3". Tyson Fury says he's 6'9". If you look at that face off, no chance.
Yeah, yeah. So then on the other side of this, for Usyk to win again, what does he need to do different? I don't think he can go in and do the same thing again and win. What does he need to do different this time around? We can try to potentially have his hand raised.
So I think now that he knows that he can hurt Fury, and also he took a lot of Fury's good punches.
Yeah.
Only how Usyk can win, in my opinion, is he needs to start early now. Now it needs to go back to what I thought was going to happen in the first fight, where Usyk was going to start fast. He needs to start fast because I think he was very tentative early and he allowed Tyson Fury to outbox him the first like 4 rounds. And then finally, when he started putting that pressure on him and getting to him and landing those punches, is when he hurt Tyson Fury. So Usyk has to put the pressure on earlier, has to let his hands go earlier, has to take some risks because he's got to get in there. This fight is not going to be the same fight as the first one, B Money. It's not. This fight is going to have to be different on both guys' sides. But if Usyk needs to win this fight, he's got to put the pressure on even more because he did put the pressure on pretty good and Fury boxed pretty good for the first half of that fight. But Usyk has to cut the ring off a little better, but also let his hands go.
That's the
A
thing.
lot more.
He put the pressure on when the door opened.
Yeah.
But that
He's got to do it earlier.
those first couple few rounds, he didn't look like himself in there against. I think he's trying to figure out the bigger, lankier, longer opponent because that's going to be a tough draw for anybody. You
right? I
know, the
mean, yeah,
reach
it's a huge
difference
guy.
alone. You got Tyson Fury that basically is with his long, long arms punching down, and you with your shorter arms. I don't want to call him stubby because he is a big guy. But having to punch up. I mean, there's a big difference there. Having to punch up and almost a jab feels like you're trying to, an upside down uppercut. That's tough. You're punching up the whole time. That's
100%,
exhausting
100.
too, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So I'd be curious to see the stamina on these guys, and just the punches and volumes, how that really impacts the length of the fight, and how we start feeling as the rounds get later. I think that's going to be come into play a bit more. Volume of punches. Curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, and I just wonder in it for an advantage for Usyk. I just wonder if he makes this fight super hard on Fury early, if
Mm.
Fury can withstand that, because Fury he's been in a lot of wars for a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Three of them technically with Wilder, even though the first one was a draw, but he won, and they won the next two. Even though the ones that he won, B Money, he took some legit damage, right? Like he's went down in every single one of the Deontay Wilder fights. Okay. And he's went down hard in every one of them, multiple times in a couple of those fights. So I wonder if somehow Usyk can catch Fury again, catches him clean. I just wonder if he's got that war mentality in him still, because it happens. Every great fighter that has been in too many wars eventually wears down. And when he gets in that moment where he would normally just rise to the occasion of the war, I wonder if Fury still has that in him.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
And we'll
Yeah.
see. I think he's locked in. I see this beard that he's got going on. By the way, we might have to bring back beard of the month, because Fury's beard is full and thick, bro,
Yeah, it's
which
not as good as
tells
mine.
me he's locked in, man. So
Until it could compete with me, we'll see.
I
We'll see. And on top of that, it's if he gets to that point in the fight where his spirit not necessarily is broken, but it's just like kind of like, do I want to be here? Knowing full well that there are a couple of other big fights, massive paydays still waiting around the corner. We've been talking about it for years. If he loses this thing to Usyk, he could easily fight Anthony Joshua and sell out anything and get
yep,
as much money as he possibly wants.
yep,
Maybe close to this kind of money
yep,
fighting him.
yeah,
So there might be a point in the fight where he's just being swarmed, if he can't maintain, he might just check out.
yeah. I mean
He'll
that.
go the distance still, but he might just check out.
What a valid point you just made there. I didn't even think of that. The fact that if it starts to get tough, Fury is an ultimate salesman too. Okay. His
True. Very
gamesmanship
true.
when it
Very
comes to the
true.
game, this guy sells more than anybody. So, in the back of his mind, he's thinking ahead a little bit, thinking about, you know what? If I lose this, or even, let's think about this, even if he wins this, I think his next fight's against Anthony Joshua still. Win or lose,
Really?
I think he fights
I
Anthony
think
Joshua.
There's no rematch on this thing. I think Usyk would
So
probably want
I'm
to.
not sure. I know the first one there was a rematch clause, right? So that's why Tyson Fury initiated it and is rematching Usyk. So I think that in the third one, I don't think there's a rematch clause. However, it would just make sense,
Of
right? If
course,
he
yeah, one and
wins
one.
the
Yeah.
trilogy, and then Fury can be a part of two of the greatest trilogies in boxing history.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go down as one of the best
I mean,
heavyweights of all
Muhammad
time
Ali and
just
Joe
because of
Frazier, and
that.
them, but like this is two that he's in now. If he
Yeah.
if he can pull this off on Saturday, he's going to be a part of two of the greatest heavyweight trilogies of all time. So he probably does take it. But if
Oh
he
yeah.
loses money, he 100% does have at least one more fight in him, and that's the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
I think he wins that one. But who knows? Because Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, Weekend Trav has been really solid on his picks. Those two guys I've gotten wrong. Anthony Joshua and Fury. I get emotional somehow, some way. I pick with emotion. But this one, I don't think I did. I think I picked with my brain here. I picked the bigger guy, the guy that should have boxed, the guy that got caught in the first fight, and that cost him that fight because then he lost the rest of the round. So I still think Tyson Fury wins this fight by a decision. I don't think it's going to be easy because Alexander Usyk is one tough son of a gun. He's fighting for really, if you just watch that guy, he just seems to me like he's fighting for different reasons
He's
other than
just
money,
there's
right? And
just
that's a
some
scary guy.
you just look at him and you just can tell something's off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's just something going on in his mind that's just different. and not in like a scary way, but it's maybe a couple screws aren't
I
tightened all
think
the
a
way.
scary way.
Yeah. Yeah, like the mind games Tyson Fury tries to throw his way, they don't work on that guy. That guy
No.
is will just stare a certain way at you and you're like, ooh, he's got the little gap in his teeth. He usually comes out with a weird haircut or something like that. There's just something a little off. A little
Yeah.
off. And it's interesting. So well, I guess we shall see on Saturday. Saturday on DAZN. If you're stateside, you can catch that on DAZN, DAZN, and it's $39.99. I don't think with this one you have to have a membership either. You could just do the one-time pay and you'll catch it. Keep in mind, it's in Saudi Arabia, so it's earlier. It's not nighttime. They will be competing with two NFL games going on Saturday, plus any sort of college bowl games going on. So keep that in mind as well. If you're out and about to try to watch this, it's not going to dominate all the TVs, okay? Because at the same exact time as the main event, you're still going to be contending with the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers in a very important AFC matchup for
Yep.
playoff contention and ramifications. So that is also on Saturday the 21st.
You're going to be competing with an organization in the NFL that literally owns days of the week.
They do. They
They
do.
literally own days of the week and they've keep expanding their days. They
When
used to
I,
own Sundays and Mondays. Now
yep,
they own Thursdays. Now
there it
they own
is. Sometimes
Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Sometimes Saturdays.
Yep.
Sometimes they even did a Fridays. So like they're
Well, get
owning
this.
every day
Get
of the
this.
week.
So I didn't realize they had games this Saturday, and I looked at it. I was like, I was pretty happy. Obviously, knowing this boxing thing too, but it's like so you got NFL tonight, which is Thursday. We're filming on Thursday. You got Saturday. You got normal Sunday games. I don't know. Actually, I got to check if there's a Monday night game or not. But you got Christmas Day games on Netflix,
Yep.
which hopefully the Jake Paul Mike Tyson is no indication as to how those live stream games will go on Netflix on Christmas Day. There's a lot going on, Weekend. It's hard to keep track of everything, but it is the one of the best times of year if you're a sports fan, especially a football fan, because we're getting down to the wire on NFL playoffs. You got bowl games going on the college side, and now you got this massive wrap up to the boxing year. Alexander Usyk taking on Tyson Fury, number two from Riyadh out in Saudi Arabia, $39.99 on the zone if you're stateside. Sky Sports, I think, as well as Turner or something or other, but also the zone if you are in the UK. So you can catch that anywhere. To our Filipino audience, I don't know what you guys have out there. So, but we have a lot of Filipinos that watch. I don't know. Maybe because I'm quarter Filipino, that could be why.
I'm glad you brought up Jake Paul because we can do two segues into that.
Okay.
The first segue is
Segue one. Let's go.
segue one is everybody when Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson was like, "Hey Travis, Mike or Jake Paul's saving boxing. We're all talking about boxing." And I'm like, "Listen, guys, no, he's fucking not." And this is why he's not, because Tyson Fury's fighting Alexander Usyk, and they're gonna make a combined $190 million between the two of them. So shut up. Jake Paul has carved out his own little path in professional boxing, and people need to hear this. Jake Paul has carved out his own little path in professional boxing. Whether people like it or not, he has, but he hasn't saved boxing. Okay. These guys like Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, those names are the ones that are keeping boxing relevant and keeping boxing in the commercial minds because they're making far more than Jake Paul made and ever
Oh,
will make. They're
I'll,
making all that already. So Jake Paul is helping himself, and I don't disagree with that. But he's not saving boxing B money.
I'll tell
He's
you
carved out his own path.
one name that's more important than Jake Paul, not necessarily to the survival of boxing, but propping up for sure. And you alluded to this on episode 170, and he's got to be the basically the boxing person of the year. That's Turkey Al.
Yeah, there you go. And he deserves credit, but it's
Without
still,
him, this money is not there. Without
yeah,
him,
yeah.
this kind of payday isn't there. There are still going to be good events and good fights to be made, but the money certainly isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's paying guys to fight tough fights. That's why we got Archer Betterby versus Bivol. And guess what? We're getting Archer Betterby versus Bivol 2 in
Yep,
February.
that'd be a good one.
That's a fight that we would have never gotten before because nobody really knew who those two guys were, but they were great. But nobody could afford to pay them to face each other. Turkish Al Sheikh said, "You know what? I want the best fights. I want the best fighting the best." So if we have finally um, a undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, the first we've had since Roy Jones Jr. in 1999. That's thanks to Turkish Al Sheikh, not Jake Paul. Listen, I give Jake Paul credit when he deserves it. I've given it to him many times on this podcast, but I make sure the average fan knows Jake Paul is not saving boxing.
Yep.
Jake Paul is lining his own pocket, and good for him. But I promise you guys, without Jake Paul, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk make $100 million by themselves. So Jake Paul's not saving boxing. He's carving his own path. He's
Yep.
carving his own little segment of an audience, which is fine. I don't care. It's cool. Good for him. But he's not saving boxing B
Kind of
money.
always like view it, you know how like there was the argument for several years, and maybe people still bring this up, I don't know, of boxing versus MMA and the MMA crowd, which don't get, I respect MMA completely. That's how I kind of was brought into this whole
I
fold.
do too. I respect him.
But how for many years the MMA fans inside of the equation were like, boxing's dead, we're taking over, and this,
Yeah.
and that. Yeah, there's a lot of money that goes into it. They don't pay the fighters, but there's a lot of money that goes into it. I almost
Oh
view
yeah.
it in gym terms like this. It's like normal gym goers and lifters like me, and then you got your CrossFitters. Okay.
Okay.
So consider
I'm
me the
following.
normal gym goer as the boxing person, and the CrossFitters like the MMA people. And CrossFitters love telling you that their thing is the best and that
Yeah.
that's the best workout ever. And it's what, oh, you just zoomed out.
I got
And
this. I got this iPad. Does it on its own,
that's
dude.
crazy.
This is awesome.
So the CrossFitters like to really talk it up and all the time. That's the MMA crowd, at least for years it was. And the
Yeah.
boxing crowd, we just go about our business. I go and do my thing, whatever else, try to get in
Yeah.
shape, and we're always there and we're always relevant. Okay? And then the CrossFitters, they get hurt or they do this and that, or they realize it's really expensive to keep going with that kind of sport and it's futile. And they eventually kind of go back into normal workout modes. Just like a lot of times you just crossover back. The MMA guys, they see the money. It's over in the boxing side if they do it right. So it's almost like that.
Yeah. They're like, hey, boxing. Can we come in
Can
and
we
make
come
some
in?
money?
Can we come
Can
in?
we? Can you answer? Jake Paul. Can I please fight you?
Both are entertaining. Don't get me wrong. Both are great. Both are athletes. Both are fun. Okay.
Agreed. I 100. And listen, as a
But there's no
boxer,
saving when the money has already been there. It's just a matter of the promoters opening the wallet. The money is there. Now, on the MMA side, the money's there too. It's just being kept by certain people and not given to
yeah,
the athletes. So take that for
it's
what it is.
it's true.
That's not what this episode's about. Weekend Trav. Now, really quick, do you and I have a bet? Since we're on both the different sides, I went with my brain, not my heart. I went with Usyk decision. You're going Fury decision. Do we have a bet? Do we still have a bottle of Swill, or do we get rid of that?
No, we do. I just found it a couple days
Ugh,
ago.
then we gotta,
So
it's gotta be it.
that's the
Gotta be
bet.
it.
That's the bet. And you know what? We're gonna do a short of the loser has to
Mm,
drink
damn it.
a. It's let's not do it. Okay, here's the deal. Here's what we're gonna do. The loser has to drink a half a shot, and it's gonna be in the shot glass that we got from Brian Price's retirement party.
Okay.
I
Okay.
got one.
Okay.
So you have to do a
Um,
half a shot of that. Not a full shot, a half a shot of swill. The loser has to do half a shot.
bottle hasn't been open in a year.
I mean, at least. And it's there. It's still there. I mean,
Is
there
it
might be
still
some
brown? Is
there
it,
might
is
be
there mold in it
there
or
might be
mildew?
some there might be some floaties in it. I'm not gonna make any
Just
promises.
shake it up.
Yeah, I mean we'll figure it out, but we're gonna drink it. You know what? Because we grew up
Just
we
shake
grew up
it
in like
up.
the 80s, bro. We drank out of like lead-based water hoses.
Oh, that's true. That's a
So
good
we're
point.
good. We're good. We're tough. Our immune system can handle it. So
Right.
there's that. I think that boxing is doing okay without Jake Paul. I do. I genuinely believe that. Now, B money.
Segue it because he was here. Let's
I'm gonna
segue
segue.
into WBA convention that was in town here in Orlando because they're
103rd WBA
there you
convention.
go. There you go.
Holla.
So talk to us. Talk to us, Weekend Trev.
So they had fights last Friday,
Yep.
which is what, December 13th? Yeah, Friday the 13th. I didn't even realize that. That's pretty
It
cool.
was my wife's
So Friday
birthday
the
and
13th.
I wasn't there.
I'll talk about this later too. But
Okay.
so Friday the 13th, awesome fights, B money. A guy from Kissimmee
You got it right.
won
Yeah, that's good.
the WBA interim world title, B money. It's a world title. So he's the interim champ because the main champ hasn't fought for a while. So they call it interim. He will fight for the actual full version of the WBA title soon, which is really cool. Antonio Vargas, congratulations. Right here in Orlando, Florida. You, my friend, are top of the line for me and B Money because I remember when
Been
we
high on him
watched
for a
him.
while. Yep.
We watched him and he came out to Christian music. And me and B Money We look at each other, we're like, this guy is going to be tough because he's coming out to the most um, Christian music is good, no doubt, right? But when you
Yeah.
go to boxing matches, you're expecting high paced, high intense stuff, right? So when you hear that, you're just like, and the whole crowd just
Like
like,
gospel music. Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
gospel.
it's
The
tough.
whole crowd was like super quiet. We're like, okay, this guy better be tough. And guess
Gotta
what?
be.
He's talented and he's tough.
Yeah.
And he did, dude. This fight on Friday, B Money, he drops the guy in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
He got dropped
Mm-hmm.
hard, like
Saw that.
second or third round. I was actually genuinely a little scared. He got dropped hard. I know that. I hope that we can get Antonio Vargas on the podcast. I hope I
Yeah.
can get him on here to talk about this because what a fight. I want to pick his brain on that because he
Yeah,
went
because
down
I don't think
hard.
he's been dropped before, or at least the fights
I
we've
don't,
seen him. He's never dropped.
yeah, because he's only lost once as well. So, and I don't know
Okay,
that
so he
every
must,
fight
yeah.
we've been to, we've never seen him drop. He got
Yeah.
dropped, and he did the most smart thing that most guys don't do. Tim Tszyu should have done this when he got beat at the Crib Royale. Antonio Vargas rightfully held when he was supposed to.
Mhm.
Okay. He was
Get your brain
hurt and he
back.
knew he was
Yep.
hurt. He's like, listen, I'm not going to try to fight my way out of this. I'm going to do the smart thing. And that's why I like Antonio Vargas because one, he loves Jesus Christ, and we love that.
Yep.
I know you love that. I love that. He's
We love Jesus too.
hardcore Christian. He's the King of Kings, and he always gives credit to Jesus Christ. And I love that because without Jesus Christ, none of this is possible. None of us would be here. I love that. And he gives that credit to them. And he's intelligent. Like he was in the ring. His ring IQ was so good. I believe he was an Olympian too, which makes sense now.
And
So he's a
his
118
his
pounder.
corner gave him good advice then too. What
He's
they were doing.
got all around him is good people. And what I say about that too is Box Lab is behind him. Eric is behind him. Amari is behind him. I love those guys because they're Eric the same way. Eric is very Christian based. Eric told me, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I'm going to say it. Eric told me off there. He goes, Travis, mark my words. He goes, Antonio Vargas will fight for the full world title next year in 2025. He will win it. And he goes, I promise you that. So, Eric, when that happens next year, we're going to talk about this because you did say that to me in 2024. And you did say that before. He told me this before Friday when the fights happened. So he could have lost then too. And he did it and he won. So 2025 looks to be a very exciting year for Antonio Vargas and Box Lab Promotions, who promote Antonio Vargas.
Yep.
Now, I got to shift it back a little bit to Jake Paul, B Money. This is where I'm going to give him some credit again. So most people don't see this because the cameras don't show this, but so Jake Paul, it was most valuable prospects 10, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he was there. One of his fighters, Wanna Walton is his name. Wanna, Wanna Walton. Actually pretty good. The guy's pretty decent too. But was there and he fought in the TV portion though. But B Money. Jake Paul was ringside watching the fights at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
The TV didn't even come on until 9 p.m. And nobody will know that unless they were at the fights. And that's why, and I say that because most people don't realize that on big fights, when it's televised fights, nobody shows up until television portion, right?
Yep.
Because they want to be seen on TV. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul and Amanda Serrano were there before the TV cameras were even on. And Jake Paul was ringside. Not only was he ringside, B Money, he was recording. He was sitting there. He was shouting instructions to guys that aren't even signed to him, but he was watching. So, like, because of that, that was me.
Oh,
yeah, that was my little bottle.
I was like,
that's my
what's going on?
My hydrogen bottle. So I'm impressed with that. But you want to know what else I'm impressed with? Because so my mom came to the fights with me, which was kind of cool. She flew in just to come to the fights, which was cool. But she was like, she's not a believer yet of the Jake Paul belief, but B Money, this was the first time I've ever heard this from Jake Paul. Jake Paul got in the ring after Antonio Vargas won. Jake Paul thanked God. Jake Paul, if you watch a couple of years ago, he's very like, he does these meditations and he's not spiritual in the reason of God. He's spiritual other ways. But B Money, I think Jake Paul's coming around, dude. I do. Like, I think post Mike Tyson, when he didn't knock out Mike Tyson because he chose not to, if you watch that fight, you know that he chose not to, which is good. I appreciate that. I think he showed grace. And I think that that's something that God is capable of, is grace. So, B Money.
Help me win money too.
Jake Paul. Yeah, me too. Jake Paul, which is we're probably not supposed to do, but we're not perfect. But Jake Paul.
For fun.
Thanked God, man. And I'm I don't know, man. All
We'll
of us
see. I
deserve.
mean,
He's
listen,
only 27.
a lot of these guys. Well, who's the British? He was the comedian. Now he has the podcast thing. This kind of the skinny, kind of zany British guy. That has the long hair. And he's
Oh,
started to come
he was an
around.
actor too.
Yeah, he was an
No.
actor for a bit.
Oh
You know
my
who I'm
God.
talking about.
Brand. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
oh,
Yes.
maybe that's close to it.
Ah, God. I know you're talking about though.
But yeah, it's the
Yes.
same thing. I mean, he's started to embrace Christianity. Now, do they have it like to a T? No. But do I have? I've been a Christian my
There
whole
you
life.
go. There you go. Exactly.
I don't have it straight perfect either. I know restoration, and I know forgiveness, and I know all redemption, and those are gifts given to us through Christ. And I think these guys are starting to see that and follow that. Now it's also nice that they made boku millions of dollars, so it's kind of nice in the lap of luxury to say that. And while others go through suffering their whole life and are still true to their belief structure, but it is what
But
it
in the
is.
same token, he made all these millions. He could be like, I did that. I did that.
Correct,
So
correct,
he could
correct.
easily do that. And
And
a lot
that's
of
good.
people
And we'll
do.
see. I mean, the platform, hopefully, and listen, you could say a lot about someone's past and how raunchy, dirty they might have been, but everyone has fallen short of the glory of God and has the ability for redemption and forgiveness. So I will never turn my nose up at somebody if they make a turn in their life and turn away from that kind of a lifestyle
Yeah.
and embrace that. So it is.
And
I mean,
I'm not saying
not saying he is,
he's
but
yeah, but I just know that this is the small steps that I'm noticing in him, and I'm appreciative of it, and I'm liking it because
it's
we
nice.
are as Christians, we are supposed to be giving grace and not
Yeah.
judging. But
But
as my
let's go to WBA and let's not make
yeah,
this as much of a Jake Paul love
so the
fest.
WB and I
Yeah,
listen, I was giving him grief earlier, so I had to even it out. So he
balance.
gets credit. I'm giving him credit, but he also is not caring about
His W spray stinks. There we go. There's the balance. Now,
so WBA convention, 103rd convention, the KO for drugs, I think they call it knockout drugs.
knockout drugs. That is
So
the best ones out there.
it was really a good event. The
Yeah.
drugs weren't so good because I didn't
No,
try any of them,
no, no,
but
no.
it was awesome because I got to meet Felix Tito Trinidad,
Very cool.
who, in my opinion, is the greatest Puerto Rican fighter of all time. He's the man and such a good dude, too. But anyway, the fights were awesome, B Money. There was a heavyweight fight that happened. Between the two heavyweights, they weighed like 585 pounds, mind you. And they weren't fat slobs by no means. One guy
Yeah.
was like really tall. Great fight.
Same
They
guy that's
had
usually
great.
there. Same
No,
heavyweight. No.
no, different. 100%. Two different guys. It
Oh, I
was
thought it was
awesome, actually.
okay. Maybe I saw that wrong. Okay, keep
It
going.
was it was a tall like I don't know where he's from. From
It
another.
wasn't a
He's like
Cuban. It wasn't that Cuban guy though.
no, he was there too. Yes, he did. He fought. He fought, but this was a
Okay.
different fight. There was two
Got it.
different heavyweight
Got it.
fights.
Got it.
So
Got it.
yes,
Got it.
the Cuban guy did fight. You're correct there. But this was a different Havanese. Havanese was this guy's name, I think. Big tall dude. He fought like a Hawaiian Samoan guy. Dude, it was an insanely good fight.
I think that guy might have been on a box light show that we were at
Maybe, but it was a
locally.
great fight.
I,
The big
mm,
tall
I think
dude. It was a
I might need to
great
look
fight.
into that because there was a guy at a
I gotta
different
find the name.
promoters in Orlando. He was at a different show in Orlando back a while ago, and I think we both looked at each other like, "Hmm, that guy could be a problem locally.
We got to look it up
It
then
might be
because
that guy."
it was a
Interesting.
good fight, dude. It was a good
Interesting.
fight. And then our good friend who was on the podcast, Giovanni Estella, lost a very tough majority decision. He fought an undefeated Joxon. I think it's his last name. And it was a good fight, dude. I watched it. It was very I lost my voice because I was yelling for Giovanni. And I
Hmm.
know that, you know what, we're not your typical media, so I can be biased. Giovanni's my buddy. He is. He's our
Whoa,
buddy. I
whoa,
like
whoa!
Giovanni.
What typical media isn't biased?
Correct. They
Okay.
pretend to be, they're not,
So
but they all are.
do you think that was the proper decision?
So yes, I do. I
Okay.
do. I think that so, but I think it was a very close. It was an 8 round fight. It was an 8 round fight for a WBA, the first title Giovanni's fought for too.
Yeah.
It was an eight round fight. I believe 5 rounds for Jackson, 3 rounds for
Yeah.
Giovanni.
Yeah.
One of the judges did score it a draw. The other two judges scored it in
Mm.
favor of
So it
Jackson.
was pretty tight.
Right? It
Okay.
was a very tight fight, but I don't. But it was a very tight fight. But I don't. I don't think that. I think the other guy won.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
very tight, narrow decision. I think he won. But honestly, when Giovanni let his hands go, he did well.
Mm,
When he stopped, he didn't. And Jackson's got a really good style. I've never seen him fight before in person. He fought on the Tim Zoo undercard,
hmm
but I was there. I don't really remember watching it that well though. But he was there and he fought. So I have
Gosh,
seen
that's a
him
quick
live.
turnaround. That was a
Yeah,
quick turnaround.
I've
Two
seen him
months.
live, but also quick turnaround for Giovanni because he just fought in Tokyo. He fought a 10 round
Summer
war in
though.
Tokyo.
That was summer though.
I don't know. Was it?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was the end of summer. It was
Yeah. But
September.
either
No.
way, that zoo card
Yeah, that
was
was
like
only a
2 months
month or
ago.
so ago. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a quick turnaround either way. But I think
Hmm.
he won like pretty like in a 4 rounder maybe even so I think. But anyway,
Sure.
it was a great fight. I would be 100% down for one of those rematches of that fight, but I think they both need to go and set their way different paths for now, and then come back and meet for like a
Maybe. Yeah.
main event.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are a local big time main event attraction if they fought again.
Yeah.
So I like it. I hope Giovanni stays positive about this. I know this guy goes 4 years without losing a fight in the pros, and now he's lost
He's
two in
got
like
two
3 or
dingers.
4 months. And you
Yeah.
know what? It is what it
It
is.
happens.
It's professional boxing, right, B
Yeah.
Money? Like
You
it
got to bounce.
happens.
You got to bounce off it and keep on pushing, right? You're getting to the point, I think, in the boxing world where fans know are tired of protecting your loss column. Forget
Mm-hmm.
it. We want to see the fights. And we want to see the guys that have earned it. All these guys with these fantasy 33 and O's and whatever, and it's BS. And then you start seeing them, they get a loss on the record. I take your boy Munguia, and after Canelo, he don't look the same, right? He didn't. I mean, he got embarrassed. Embarrassed even.
This is his second fight post Canelo though
Yeah,
too.
but he got embarrassed even with the ref counting fast in his favor. Got embarrassed. So these
No, that
guys,
fast count was not in his favor. It was against
he
him.
he
If he was
counted the other
slow,
guy fast. Look at when he counted the other guy too. Maybe it's just the ref. Maybe the
which
ref
other?
sucked.
Wait, which other guy?
Then the other guy get knocked down too. He got knocked down earlier in the fight.
Oh, I don't actually. I don't. I didn't watch it, so
Yeah.
I just seen the highlight. I didn't know
Oh
that.
yeah,
Good
that
call. I didn't
ref
know that.
that ref counts he's like
He's like one of those transcontinental single states.
yeah,
He didn't have it. But listen, that was that's a big upset too, right? Munguia getting
correct.
beat. It was a big upset because I had 5 knockouts.
But we're tired of you guys protecting the loss column. We want the fights,
So
the
you know
big
what?
fights.
I love that you brought that up too because I actually this is the first time, and I'm sad to admit this, but I went back and watched the Terrence Crawford Joe Rogan interview. It's a 2 hour one. I never watched it before, and he came on our podcast literally like a month later after
Yep.
the Joe Rogan one, but I
Yep.
never watched it. And I watched it, and they started talking about that, and Terrence Crawford brought it up too. And I think that that's something that I think boxing is benefiting from because of the UFC is because a lot of the UFC big time champions have like multiple losses and they usually do. Not all of
Yeah.
them, but some of them, right? Not all of them because you have John Bones
Well,
Jones.
sometimes it's a redemption story for them. Maybe they ascended, they won a belt at 9 or 10 and 0 or whatever else, then lost, maybe lost twice, and they built their way back up to get into contention again.
And that's the cool part is
Yes.
Crawford was like, you know what? He's like, I'm tired of boxing people getting one loss and people are like, oh, we're writing them off. And
Right.
I think we are coming into a new era of boxing because we are seeing these guys like Bivol fought better beef. He could have not, both those guys could have just went separate paths and they would have been like, oh, these guys are still great, right? But they met and they fought each other. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, two undefeated guys fought each other and they're still, Crawford's going to still do amazing things. Errol Spence kind of maybe not, but it doesn't matter. Nobody is saying that just because you have one loss, you're terrible anymore.
Yeah.
Munguia now has 2 losses.
So Devin Haney embraced the 2 losses that we know you have. Maybe more in
Only
Mexico, but
he's
at
only
least
got. Oh
two.
yeah, there you go. You're okay. That's right. So
Um,
Devin Haney supposedly lost in Mexico, and he's like 16, but also
embrace
lost.
Ryan Garcia, but let's be honest. You lost to Lomachenko. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest.
You know what? I never came out against that and said that he did lose, but I'm looking at the punch stats, round by round punch stats,
Yep.
and I think Devin Haney lost to Lomachenko. I'm gonna say it, and it's unemotional.
Dude, he's one of
I
those
think Devin
guys.
Haney lost to Lomachenko.
Him and his father have photos of somebody. They got something because
Yeah,
I
they
just
do.
don't see. I don't get it anymore. Like
Well, I think
at
the father does for sure because the
I
father
mean,
is a very marketable guy.
he seemed talented, but then it's like protectionary wins. Like it's not like anything. That's nothing. It's never been
Yeah.
overwhelming. I
No.
mean, it's
Well, he did beat Cambosis twice pretty easily, but also a lot of people thought
Campbell just came out of
Cambosis.
he kind of came out of nowhere though.
He upset Tiafimo, made me a lot of money, but he upset Tiafimo
Yes.
in a weird circumstance too. That was a
Yeah.
whole weird 2020 COVID, a bunch of stuff. Cambosis couldn't go home for like 10 months
And
because
then
of
what has
COVID. He beat
Tiafimo done
Australia.
since? What has Tiafimo done since?
He's calling out a bunch of people. If the rumors are true and Tiafimo fights Jerron Boots Ennis, wow, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
not happy about that.
Ennis
But
wipes the canvas with him.
I mean, I want to watch it. I don't know, but I want to watch it. I think that Ennis should, yes, not beating that easily, but I think that he's the bigger guy and he's very talented. But if B Money, think about this. If Tiafimo is looking for that fight, you got to give him some credit. You
Well,
gotta give him some credit for
maybe,
wanting to fight that
maybe,
guy.
but
Like,
they've
because
been they've been talkers this whole career though. I mean, it's
yeah, we'll
who
see.
takes them seriously.
But you know what's good about that? We've talked about John Fury not going to be in the corner of Tyson Fury
Mm,
anymore. Probably
mm-hmm,
positive.
mm-hmm.
Teofimo Lopez, guess who they just brought on as their
Yeah,
coach?
yeah,
Canelo's coach.
yeah.
So like, who
We'll see.
knows?
We'll
But
see
I,
how
I
long
think
that
that's
lasts.
but I do think that's the right decision, and I think you do too. You
Yeah,
know that
well,
we've
it's
said
the right
that.
decision, but
That's a toxic relationship.
when that was announced a couple months, about 2 months ago by now,
Yeah, they've been there for a little bit.
that was my first question to you was how long till his father screws this up? That was my question to you.
I mean, if he
And you
fight,
said 13 days or something. They're still going strong, but there's no fight. There's no fight on the horizon or anything. But yeah,
if he fights Boots Ennis, his first fight with a new trainer and loses, you could see the father just going nuts. But also, Boots Ennis is like supposed to be the next coming and
mm-hmm.
supposed to like beat a Crawford, supposedly. But whatever it is, Boots Ennis is really good. I do give him that credit, but he hasn't
Yes.
actually proved that on the level of a Terrence Crawford or Teofimo Lopez. I'm going to give Lopez a little bit of that credit, but Lopez has probably lost a couple times too, more than it's on his record because that
Yeah,
Sandor Martin, there's some
we've
big
seen
fights and he
fights.
got
It's
some
like,
gift decisions,
oh, 100%. It's just like, I
which
mean,
tells me that him and Devin Haney have been hanging out in the same crowd.
yeah. What's yeah? The Diddy parties?
I'm glad you got that. You picked that
Yeah,
up.
yeah. The Diddy parties with Gervonta Davis.
Hey,
Um,
in LeBron James's words, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Really, LeBron?
yeah, that ain't our words,
I'm just
folks.
saying. I'm
So
just saying.
listen, don't
LeBron said
subpoena
that.
us. Don't subpoena us
Do
one
not.
day after January 20th. Don't come knocking on this show. We
Don't
ain't been in,
subpoena me at all.
we haven't been. Boy, oh boy. Here we go. This is where it starts to fall off, which is good because we're actually recording a while
This
so
is the
far.
best
Episode
freaking show
171.
we've had in a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we need to. We lost 2 subs. How'd that happen?
I'm so like, listen,
It's because
we're changing.
it's our fake
We're
followers.
we're changing some shit because I'm so mad. I looked at our subs for the year. We got to wrap up. I got sent an email, and I'm like, compared to last year, because of the Crawford interview.
Well,
To be fair,
that's tough.
we got, but also, me and Crawford have been going back and forth. I challenged Crawford to a golf game and a basketball game.
Yep.
And I said, the winner of the basketball game, because he's like, I can't play golf. Trav was like, good, because that's why I'm going to beat. I'm going to get a win. I need my win back. I need a rematch. And that's going to be my win. And then the basketball game, he said, we're texting back and forth. I need to post this. I need to post the text message screenshot. We're texting back and forth. And I was like, okay, if I beat you in a basketball game, you owe me another interview for the podcast. And he said, well, here's the deal. He goes, I'm going to beat you, but you're a really nice guy. So I'll give you the interview still. But let's do it. So Crawford's coming back on the
Okay,
podcast.
but
We
also
need him.
yes, well that's breaking news to me as well, which is good. But also we're old men. I think now the sport of choice is pickleball. I think you're supposed to do pickleball now. But
I'm not resigned to that yet, B Money.
just a half a mile down the street within my like larger neighborhood, we've always had a rec center with tennis courts. They re-outfitted like half the tennis courts to
With
pickleball
pickleball,
courts.
of
You know
course.
what's full? 20 like not 20 like but like 18 hours a day, you know what's full?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. I
Yeah.
drive by, I'm going to this and that. I'm like, do these people work? But then I realize I'm driving by at that time. I'm like, do I work?
Yeah.
I mean,
Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the world.
yeah, yeah. It's almost tempting enough where like, can I do that? I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
Good.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're good at it, but I think you could because you travel less ground and you're
Yeah, I
younger,
need that. I can't do
so
that
you
stuff
can do it.
anymore. Like
So that's why the pickleball courts
I
make
used to be
sense.
very good at like lateral movements and football and stuff. I used to be very good at that. I can't do that crap no more. My joints can't hold up to that. I need minimal movement, but I could slam a ball into someone's face, even though I know that's not like it's like frowned upon, but I don't think it's
No,
against
you
the
can do it.
rules.
It's not
Well, you
against the
can do
rules. You
it,
can.
but it's frowned upon. And it's like a drinking sport. I think I'm really good at those.
Hold on, hold on,
Except
hold
golf.
on,
I'm
hold
not good
on.
at golf.
You had okay. I like golf.
I'm
You
not
had
good at
me at
golf.
drinking sport. What?
Yeah.
What? How do you drink in pickleball? I don't. Let
Well,
me
you got to get a water
shoot me
break,
in.
don't you?
I
You get a
don't
water
know.
break, right? And I
It's
don't think they
water,
care.
be money. It's not
Yeah, but they don't
alcohol,
care if you crack a beer or something like that. They think they're gonna have an advantage. They don't realize that that's like my spinach, like Popeye. That's my spinach.
dude. So I'm actually. I need to pick my sporting athleticism up because the wife is a professional tennis player. I'm a professional boxer, so we're 1-1,
She's
right?
retired
Yeah, not
officially.
fully yet. No, it's not
She
official
said
yet.
officially.
Oh,
She said
her,
it on
oh,
camera.
I thought you said me. She is 100%. Yes,
Yeah, she commits. You don't.
she's very committed. That's, I mean, women commit, men don't, but she's very committed. She's 100% retired. But also, guess what she did? She came out of retirement and she's a professional pickleball player. She played in a
I
pro
had a
pickleball
feeling that was gonna
tournament.
happen. I had a feeling that would
But
happen.
no, it was like last year. It was when she was doing the pro tennis still too. It was a year ago.
Yeah,
And
but all
but
these
she's like, I'm
tennis,
done. But
all these tennis play. That's
she's
what I
a two
mean.
sport pro athlete
But
now.
I've always thought that these tennis players, as they get to like the twilight years of their career or they retire, they're going to go into that and they're going to
Oh, there's some
squash
money.
the normal person
There's
out
some
of
money
that
to be made.
sport.
There's some money
Yeah.
to be made over there now because it's very. You want to know a guy who I was just making fun of LeBron James? He owns a pickleball team.
Well, so does Gronk, Rob
Yeah,
Gronkowski.
there's money. It's the
There's money to
fastest
be
growing.
made now.
Like,
Who was it? It was
can
oh
we
my
do that? B money.
gosh.
Listen, B money's our investment guy.
Who
B
was the
money.
original bad boy of tennis? What was his you know him.
Oh yeah, yeah. McEnroe, John McEnroe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's traveling a pickleball circuit making tons of
Of
money.
course he is because he loves to make money.
I like
And when
making
he was
money.
playing tennis, exactly. That's why I'm just telling you, B money.
No one wants to pay me to
Maybe
play pickleball.
because maybe we need to recruit a pickleball team and own it.
Yeah, but we need to do it. We need to do like basketball. We need a drinking sport we create.
Basketball. That's so funny. I haven't heard that in so long. Oh
That's
my
what
god.
we need to do. We need to create a drinking sport.
I'm still trying to think of that guy's name, that actor that you're talking about. He was an actor,
Oh,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. No, well, he was, but he was mainly he was a comedian, an actor, British talent,
It's something.
kind of a
What the
weird
how do I
guy.
not fucking know his name?
I don't know. I
He
gotta
was
look it
funny,
up.
right? Brand. It's
British
something brand or oh
guy,
my gosh.
actor, comedian,
I know that I follow him even because like I remember like this guy like just
podcast,
it's oh my god I can't believe it, dude. I'm like I'm getting old, dude.
brand, Russell Brand.
Russell, I told you something brand.
Yeah,
Fucking knew
yeah,
it. It's Russell
yeah.
Brand. Yeah. So yeah, he's very dude. He actually he got red pilled too essentially, but also I think nowadays when people say red pilled, I think it's just like common sense. Now you're common sense. Now you just talk common sense,
So
and you're
now
not.
we're really offending people. Maybe that's why we lost a couple of subs.
You know what? Cool. Maybe it probably was.
Whatever. We'll lose
It was
them. We'll
probably
lose
some
them.
of my friends,
We'll lose them.
but whatever. It
Lose them.
doesn't matter.
It's not me. I don't have any friends.
But
So
did we actually lose them? We just shed them. We're like a
yeah,
snake. We shed the skin that we
yeah.
didn't need.
It's funny. You realize when you get to a certain age, like how many friends you actually have, like real friends, and like who are worth a stamp. Like who's worth a stamp? Like I send out
Not very
Christmas
many.
cards. I send out the Christmas cards to like clients and stuff like that. But then like I'm like, do I want to waste a forever stamp on XYZ person? So for those at home, here, Merry Christmas. There's us. Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's the whole B Money
I
crew.
probably got to put on this for the edit. Um, Merry Christmas. You're not worth the stamp. Now subscribe below to our podcast on YouTube or wherever you're catching this. The audio, you can get it on every audio source that you get your podcast, whether it is, you know, what,
Spotify,
Spotify. Well, you looked at me in
iTunes.
disgust on that. Like, did I just you're like, oh man, I thought you were teeing it up a certain way, and then you
Are you
like
talking to
really,
me?
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't. I had no disgust look.
Okay, okay.
If
Your
you read into that, that was your
First of
reading
all,
into.
your card should be arriving in a day. You were worth the stamp.
You were worth a stamp too because we just got ours today and we mailed them out
You
today.
Weekend Trav is worth the forever stamp. And that's how I wrap it up. That over there is the talent Weekend Trav.
I'm just saying that I don't wrap it
Those
up.
balls are a heart.
I don't know. Both. I
That's how
don't know. I
that's how
don't
I
do that.
feel.
Girls do that,
That's how I
dude.
feel about you right there.
Listen, girls do that. I don't know. But whatever. That there is B Money, aka producer, aka the
Jeez
man that is
almighty.
the legend, the man who makes the podcast go around,
171. Yeah.
knows how to make a proper heart.
Fury Usyk. Those are balls. Fury Usyk this Saturday, December 21st on DAZN, 39.99 pay-per-view. Check them out. Remember, main event walkout. It's probably about 5:30-ish p.m. on the Eastern Coast. So that is this Saturday. Check it out. That's it. God bless.
Subscribe.